Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. Firstly, we're going to start out by making our wig. I'm using 6x4 lace closure and 2 bundles of 8 inches raw hair. This is going to be like a deep side part bob, so I'm placing my closure on the left side, and I've measured 6.5 from the middle of my head to a little bit past my hair because I want a bit of a side bun, so I'm measuring 6.5. This part is so important so that the wig can sit properly. If you don't get this part right, you might end up putting the closure a little bit too far to the middle or a little bit too low towards the hair, and what happens is by the time you cut the bob and you put the wig on, that's when you realize it, and at that point it might be too late. So please make sure you get your wig your closure placement right to avoid mistakes. And right here I've gone ahead to shift it to the front a little bit, because obviously by the time you put your wig on, it might, you want to have a little bit of a wiggle room. By the time you put your wig on, you want the lace closure to sit ahead of your cap, so that it can sit well and look as natural as possible. For the guidelines, I'm going to do the same as what we usually do, go from left to right. Imagine that the closure is not there and you're just drawing like a normal line from left to right, like as if you would when the closure is in the middle. But the only difference this time is that when I'm drawing up on the right, I'm going to slightly curve my line on the right a bit, and you're going to see what I'm talking about in a second. So when I'm drawing my lines, it's going to go high, and the reason why I'm doing this is going to go a little bit high on the right side, and the reason why I'm doing it is because I want the hair to fall more on my face. I don't want to create it like a normal, I don't want it to be parallel to my ear. I want it to go high above my hair, like almost like you're driving your car to the left side of the road. Yeah, so the reason is because when the hair falls, it will fall over my face, and then I can create that bounce. For this particular wig, I'm going to be using single stitching. I'm going to be singling my weft. And the reason is because we're working with 2 bundles of 8 inches, and if I'm to double the weft, the wig is going to be gappy. There's nothing wrong with the wig being gappy if it's long, but because I'm working with shorter length, if I go ahead and double my weft and it's gappy, the flow is not going to be it's not going to be what it's supposed to be. I'm not going to get that flow because it's going to be gappy. It's still going to maintain the same fullness, but it's not going to flow as much as I would like it to. So I've decided to go in with single weft. As you can see, I'm following the guidelines, but what I'm doing is, after I sew the first one on the line, the second one is going to be in the middle of the first and second line, just like I'm doing in the video. So that way I can single my weft and still maintain following the guidelines. And as usual, I'm using a straight stitch. You can use a zigzag stitch, it's up to you. For me, I just prefer straight stitches when I'm working on my wigs. It's a lot cleaner, it's faster, and it saves me less time changing my bobbins because I use less thread. I have an in-depth tutorial of how I make my wig, so if you really want to see what goes on behind making a wig from start to finish, you can check my description section for that video. Before I go ahead and start cutting my wig, I'm going to try to lay it down as flat as possible so that I can achieve a more even cut. So I'm using the mousse right here just to tame down all the air, moving in different direction. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm going in with my favorite mousse, that's Cream of Nature. So yeah, I'm laying that down and defining the pattern. This is just going to help me direct the hair to where I want it to be so that I can go ahead and cut it. Again, to save us time on this video, I have an in-depth tutorial of how I prep my lace. I should have done that before making my wig, but yeah. There is never a wrong way to do something as long as you get to the same end result. So that's what I'm doing right here. So for the cut, I've gone ahead to section the hair on my crown, and I'm going line by line just like I'm doing the video. I'm going line by line and I'm cutting in a diagonal way downwards. So I'm just holding the hair with my left hand and sliding the blade down. So I'm not going up and down, up and down. I'm just holding the hair like that and going down. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. Try not to work with too much section. This is how you make mistake and end up with a very choppy side bang. So make sure again you hold the hair with your left hand and slide your blade down so that I can create that effect. If you are confused as to how high or how low you want your bang, just make sure that by the time what I usually do is I just create like a sample one. So I go in with my first slice and I raise my slides up a bit, just to imagine me after curling the hair, where the hair is gonna fall. And I just keep using my previous cuts as a guideline for my next cuts. I really hope this is helpful. I'm going to do the same thing till I get to the closure part, and once I've done that, I'm going to use my previous cut to establish how much I want to cut on my bang. But this time I'm going to pull the hair up, straight up. I'm not going to work in any section or in any angle at all. I'm going to pull the hair up just like that and cut. Again, I'm going to use my previous cuts for my guideline. Pull the hair up like that and cut straight across. I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the hair on the closure. Because I've opted for a very short length for this bob, there's really nothing much to cut, but I really hope you guys get the idea. I'm going to slightly go in with a straightener, nothing too serious. I'm just doing this so that I can, get rid of any kinks in my wig. Right here, I'm just trying to figure out how long or how short I want my bob. For reference purpose, the brown line on the wig block, that is the length of an actual human being's neck. So if I'm to cut the bob around the brown area, the bob is going to be sitting on the shoulder. It's going to be breathing the shoulder when my clients move their head left to right. But because I've decided to go very high, like maybe an inch or an inch and a half past the nape, the bob is going to be hitting my client around the chin. Now, once you've established how long or how short you want your bob to be, you can go ahead and keep using your previous cuts as a guideline for your next line. I'm going to go in with some shears and reduce the weight on the wig, because I want to achieve that round look. I don't want a situation whereby my client is gonna be always straightening their wig. If they don't straighten their wig every morning, it's going to it's gonna look funny. So by me doing this, removing the bulk at the end of the bob will stay rounded for as long as possible. This is going to go ahead and remove the bulk from the wig without taking away from the length. Right here, I'm just showing you the difference it makes by thinning the wig. On the left side, I've already thinned it out, and as you can see, the comb comes out very easily. It means that I've taken off the weight, and if I go in and bump in my wig just slightly, it's going to have room to stay that way. Whereas on the other hand, if I've left it like that and I went ahead to bump in my bob, slightly, no matter how much I bump it in, after a couple of hours, it's going to come down. That's because the wig is too heavy at the base. So there's no amount of straightening or bumping in. It won't stay that way for long. And also, the reason why I've over directed the hair on the left side to the back just like that is because by the time I let it down, I'm still going to keep my length. So if I had gone ahead to cut it this way, you can see I will have cut the bob shorter. And if I now pull the hair to the back behind my hair, it's going to be jumpy. But if you do it this way, you can be able to pull your hair to the back and leave it down and still maintain the same length. And this is the result of the thinning out. As you can see, I've already achieved the rounded effect that I was going for this specific look. I've not even gone in with the straightener yet, but already you can see the shape right there. Course, after the cut, I'm going to finish with the straightener. I'm going to go in slightly, bumping my wig in just slightly. We're not going for a grandma look today. We're not going for a 90s bob. Okay, we are going for a little bit rounded effect. We want it to look rounded from the top of the wig, like an half moon. So we don't want like a J. When we're not trying to achieve like a J effect, whereas it's straight at the top and at the bottom is just swooping in. We're not trying to achieve that. So anyway, I'm just trying to achieve like a more rounded effect, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about in a second. For the bank area, I'm going to be using a barrel to achieve the bounce I'm looking for. I'm using, I believe, a 1.5 inch. Well, don't quote me, guys. I'm going to leave a link of all the product I'm using in the description, so make sure to check it out. So I'm going to make sure to curl the hair away from the face just like that, and finishing off with a setting spray. And also, when you're curling the hair away from the face, make sure you maintain an angle. Make sure you keep your barrel at an angle at all times. So don't make it straight, just keep it at an angle like that. That way when the hair falls, there is no bit sticking out or misbehaving. Everything falls in the same direction. Then once you get to the closure area, you can keep the barrel straight, just like that. The reason why we are doing this is because it's at the top of the head. If you had gone ahead and maintained the same angle on the side, the hair would not fall where we want it to fall. So if you do it this way, you're going to achieve a more uniformed bang. So after the curls, I'm gonna use a white tooth comb to bring out down my curls, to comb it and play around with it a little bit, but we are not done yet. I'm going to spray my Sebastian shaper on the hairline and go in with my hot comb. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want a lift in the front, and I don't want any grease on my hair, and I don't want the lift to come down anytime soon. So I'm going to use my hairspray. I'm using Sebastian shaper on the hairline. This is going to shape the hair and give it that lift without being greasy, without getting the grease that you get from wax sticks. You guys, I don't like wax sticks. Me and wax sticks, we don't mix, because I like my hair to flow. Look at that. I like my hair to flow like this, and I find that wax sticks just weighs down the hair and just sits on top of the hair and doesn't do anything. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the end result. I'm so happy with the way the wig turns out. Thank you so much again for watching. Share to your friends, share to your hairstylist. Yeah, and I'm sure they're gonna learn a thing or two from this video. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.